Lord have mercy. Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of the Wiley Show. How y'all doing? Yes, okay. All right, I want to make sure y'all can hear me. This is really good. What's up, family? I'm just excited today. I have the house to myself, yes, and I want to open up with a little story time. I want to open up with a story time. So, one of my roommates, he got into a relationship. I want to open up with a story time. I think that would be best. And then we get into all the topics. We're going to be talking about Chris Stokes, Carrie Hilson, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, LaToya Luckett, Donald Trump. We're going to be talking about a lot of people in this live today. So just sit back and relax, because I was gone yesterday. And so we're going to sit back and relax, because I was gone yesterday. So I thought I was going to get a haircut, but I'm going to get a haircut today. But anyhow, I'm opening up with a story time. Now, y'all sit back. Now, my roommate, he got into a relationship. And he's in a relationship. He got him a guy. And this is how we operate in this house. I don't mind. If I want to walk with clothes on, if I want to walk with clothes off, that's just how I operate. That's how we both operate. So if one is in the restroom, I go in the restroom. Nothing to it. We just do what we do, and we doing it forever. So apparently his boyfriend got mad. He was like, "Oh my gosh, why is Wiley in the restroom when you in the restroom?" It was like a big mess. And then my roommate was like, "You can't be in the restroom with me. You can't do this." I'm like, "What?" Because it's just really natural. Because in our restroom we have it where it's like if you're in the restroom, it's like a door there, then you could just, in the rest of the restroom, you could do whatever. So if one person in the restroom, you could just brush your teeth, wash your face, or shower, whatever. And we've been doing that forever. Didn't think nothing to it. So I'm like, what's going on? What is the problem? And his boyfriend was like really upset. And so me being a peacemaker, and I said, should I apologize? Should I just like, man, shut up, we grown men, who cares? I don't want your man at all. But, the peace thing in me, I was like, I apologize if I make you feel some type of way. When I go in the restroom, he was in the restroom. I want to be a peacemaker. At first, I'm like, I don't want to have no peace. I just want the mess. Let me just get in his face. And I'm like, no, let me be peaceful. Let me come to him and say, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go, you know what I'm saying? I don't want your roommate. I don't want your man or anything like that. I'm good, okay? I don't want your man or anything like that. I don't. Because he was really angry. And he was upset. I'm like, why is he so upset? And my thing is this: communicate to me why you upset. Don't be huffing and puffing, hitting stuff. Communicate. And I noticed, I'm like, man, he probably upset because, I'm walking around with my towel on. Because we just do whatever. When I'm at home, I relax. And we've been doing this forever. And it is what it is. So when we had that conversation, I was like, man, it's gonna be some mess. So now I don't walk around with my towel on. I don't, I have to put on clothes. At first, I don't like clothes. So now I got to do all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why? You had to get in a relationship. You just messed up my groove. And I had to do all that. And I was like, because I was talking to somebody like, what do you mean you can't do? I'm like, listen, that's his boyfriend, and I think that you just be peaceful and don't start no mess, and it's if you don't want to be walking around doing all that type of stuff, it is what it is, okay. So we had to get that resolved. So that was like a big thing that I had to get that resolved. And I said, okay, I'm gonna talk to the thing. And you know, you have to be respectful. You know, it's a new person, blah blah blah. He don't know how to operate. And then another thing too, you know, I wasn't talking. I'm like, oh gosh. Because it was another big thing. Oh, he don't speak to me when I come in the room, or he don't speak to me when I come in the house. He don't talk to me at all. And then my roommate had to bring it up. It's like, Wiley, when he come over, can you please speak to my man and tell him, you know, tell him all that stuff, you know, tell him how you doing and all of that, and, you know, speak to him. I was like, okay, let me speak to him. So now when he come up, I'm like, how you doing? What's up? What's the tea? How you doing? Now I'm just being way, way extra. And so I'm just being real, real extra because I'm like, because at first I went up there talking to him because I wanted to speak because I didn't know what to do. Now I'd be like, what's up? What's the tea? Did you see? I'm just talking all extra because I don't like to know what to say because you know, in the past, I have done a lot of dirty things, slept with my, you know, roommates' boyfriends, and so now I'm trying not to speak, I'm trying not to tip myself, I'm trying not to flirt, I'm trying not to do none of this stuff, so I'm just trying to be, you know, a different type of guy, because I don't want to be in a mess that we was a couple of years ago. I don't want to be sleeping with your man. I don't want to mess up your relationship, so I deserve not to speak. So that's the reason why I'm not talking. And so he felt some type of way that I'm not talking. So now when he come over, I gotta pick up a conversation like, what's up? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Did you see what was going on? And I don't do all this, man. I just keep to myself because, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, trying to be Christian, not to get in nobody mess, not to sleep with nobody man. And, so, oh God, oh, okay, I'm up and trying to be all Christian, not just leave with his head and all that. So he be talking and stuff like that. My roommate, he like all them like them thuggish guys. He be like my type. So I pretend not to do all that stuff. No, so now I'm not looking at it that way. I'm really being good. I'm on my best, literally on my best behavior. I'm working out all the kinks, everything. I'm just literally, you know, working out all the kinks and everything. That's how I know eventually, in about 6 months, I'm probably going to have my own place. When it comes to that, okay, all right. When it comes to that, so you know, it'd be a little bit better. I just need my own space. So if I want to walk around with no clothes, I ain't got to worry about it. Because I really do stuff. Because I prepare for the show. This is what I do. I like walking around with no clothes on. And I do comedy skits. And I wish I had a camera on when I'm just speaking, but I can't. So I don't. So I prepare for the show. I have my ideas. I talk to myself a lot, and I just walk around the house with no clothes on. This is what I do. I've been doing it forever. My roommate knows this. I've been doing it forever. That I don't think that will ever change. I've been just doing that forever. I get out of the shower, I don't feel like it. I just be walking around talking about, you know, pretending who I'm going to interview, talk to different celebrities, just literally, I just have my own, you know, conversation. I'll be listening to music, dancing, and I literally don't have on any clothes. I don't have on any clothes. So I kind of like, you know, when I had a house to myself, that's exactly what I do. All right. I be in the mood. But, gosh, let me blow my nose. Excuse me, you guys. I got to blow my nose. All right. I had to. But these allergies are definitely the way. I don't like to even have on a robe. I really, really don't like to have on a robe. I love, because I think better, I'm more creative when I don't have on any clothes. But anywho, let's move on. We had to get that cleared up, and we did. I got it cleared up. I talked about it. I talked with him, and we had that conversation. Now, let us first open up with Chris Stokes. Let's open up with Chris Stokes, okay? All right. Is that Chris Stokes? I hope that's it. I don't know why did I pick that picture, but I picked that picture because I want to say this. This is one guy that I do want to interview in 2021. And let me tell you why. Because first of all, his it's like, do you see his name being ringing on YouTube and people use his name and they will say Surviving Chris Stokes. And so I was just doing research and just research about Chris Stokes, about what he does in Hollywood. And he does a lot of movies. He does a lot of stuff, as a career person. So I'm like, I would like to interview him. But while doing the interview, I still want to ask him the questions of how do he feel when you having somebody to say that you are them, that you sexually assaulted them. How are you able to handle these things? So when I want to have that conversation with him, that's one person that I do. I'm like, okay, I really want to interview him. And the reason why I want to interview him, because his name be ringing so much, and nobody have gotten this interview with this man. And I know I can't get this interview if I'm jumping on this whole surviving Chris Stokes bandwagon without saying, hey Chris, let's talk. Now we have been in each other DM. I've been talking with him forever, and he's just been so busy. And I'm like, dude, I really want to get this interview. And I did tell him today that I was going to bring him up in the video today. I did let him know, so this ain't nothing that he don't know that I'm about to say. I don't think he know everything I'm about to say, but I did tell him that I was going to do a video, and I was going to mention him today. So this is why I'm mentioning him, because he does a lot in Hollywood. My thing is this: why have you not speak on these allegations? Because if someone is out here traditionally saying these things about you, you should respond to it. I don't think that you should give it a cold shoulder. At least do an interview, release a statement when it comes to these things, because I don't think it's deserving of the silent treatment. Some things are not deserving of a silent treatment. If some people coming out there and say, hey, you took something from me, you assaulted me, you do all that, it's deserving of an answer. It's not deserving of a cold shoulder of I'm not responding, because some stuff you have to respond to. And in this particular case, when it comes to that, you should respond to it, because I do have questions for Raz B. One of my major questions would be, if what you say is true, why didn't you not leave the group? Why did you rejoin the group? Why did you go to tour? If these people took advantage of you, why did you continue to stay in this group? Why did you leave? Why didn't you get a police report? Why didn't you get the authorities involved and you ran into the hip hop? What was that? World Star Hip Hop, and you didn't run to the authorities. So I would have questions with him, and I really would have questions with Chris Stokes. But so if I was interviewing Raspberry, I know how to set up the interview for him. And one of my major questions would be, why didn't you go to the authorities and bring the authorities involved versus going on World Star Hip Hop and saying these things when it comes to Chris Stokes? So, because I know a lot of people got a lot of stuff to say about Chris Stokes, whatever it is. I want to have a conversation with him and just sit down and just look at him face to face, eyeball to eyeball. And we have a conversation and we talk. But I don't know if he's willing to have that type of interview. That's probably why he's not going to come on the show. But at least that he communicated and that we had a conversation, okay? I will tell y'all this, okay? It's not my place to say if he's innocent or guilty. My place as an interviewer is for the viewers, that my viewers will want to hear this story. My viewers want him to be questioned. My viewers would like to hear his side of the story. It's not about if he's guilty or innocent. I'm not the popo. I'm not the authorities. I'm not the judge. But what I am, I'm an interviewer, and I think it would be great if I can sit down with him and have a conversation on my platform. I think my audience would love that as well, period. Now, that's what I think. So I think everybody in the chat, even if you don't even like Chris Stokes, if you think Chris Stokes is not a great person, you still will tune into that interview because you still would like to hear what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if the man did it or not did it, because I was not there. I was not in that room. I was not in the B2K group, but what I would tell you, I did hear rumors, growing up about they messing around with each other. I did hear those rumors, but again, those are just rumors. Now, I don't want this to turn out to be an R. Kelly where the black community will say, oh my gosh, R. Kelly is innocent. But until the white folks say, oh, R. Kelly is guilty, he did this, then you see some of the black community start to turn against R. Kelly once the white folks start saying that. So obviously in this particular case, white people have not made a comment about this. White mainstream media have not made a comment about this. And they have not really put a laser focus on this case, because when I research it, you don't see too many major players like how they pretty much called out R. Kelly, it's still not a cancel Chris Stokes. I think most of the mainstream media do not care because Chris Stokes and Raspy, they are not that relevant in mainstream media. So that just say if he is guilty, the reason why he probably not canceled because they really do not care about a guy abusing a boy. They have not caught up with that system. So in this particular, it's just now the industry now will cancel you, kind of cancel you if you aggressively take advantage of women. But it took decades to get that way. But when you're talking about a man taking advantage of a boy or a teenage boy, really the media will not have that conversation. Really the media will not have that conversation and will cancel you because half of them don't care that it was man on man action. They already believe in that. They already don't believe in LGBT at all. So a lot of times when it comes to you as a black man and you aggressively took advantage of black boys, I don't necessarily see that in mainstream media talking about you being canceled. It would not. Now, if he was accused of even dealing with white boys, you probably will see that actually talking about being canceled. But the reason why you don't really hear that is because this is black. You're talking about a black boy saying a black man took advantage of them, and that really, you're not going to really see that in mainstream media because mainstream media is not going to put that out there in the forefront because they do not care. You would literally have to spend years, Raspy will have to spend years of joining organizations, joining groups, joining networking groups. It is not too many male groups out here like it is women groups because women got Time's Up, Me Too. They got so many support groups now that got some political power as well as power in the media to make sure it's coming up on the forefront. Like with R. Kelly, it was women that came together and said, hey, he got to be canceled. And a lot of black women started to lead the charge as well as white women. I don't necessarily seeing this actually come into play. I don't see people in the gay community going to call out this type of behavior because that's like a secret what a lot of teenage boys got aggressively, assaulted and they get taken advantage of. Me even growing up in the LGBT community, especially in Chicago, it was a young man. Okay, how can I word this story? Because I don't want to offend anybody. Okay, I'm going to say it this way. It was a young man that, he was dating this guy. The guy was a little bit older, and he was the gay father, and he took advantage of a lot of the gay guys there. And obviously, he cheated on his boyfriend and gave this boyfriend, the boyfriend contracted HIV. That's what the word was. And he was missing. So on my Twitter account, I was posting, help find this person. And what happened is he was found, but in the water he committed suicide. And it was a big thing that people wasn't talking about, having people that give teenage boys in their home, older guys, and they take advantage of them. That goes on a lot in the gay community. They don't broadcast it. They don't really talk about it, but that goes on a lot. They just get all these teenage guys. They get them hooked on meth. They get them hooked on coke. They get them hooked on everything because they already know your family disowned you. They kicked you out. You homeless. You have nowhere to go. I have all the assets, and you're going to give me your everything. You're going to give me everything. I'm going to pay for this, but I'm going to get you hooked on drugs. I'm going to screw you. We'll do all these things, and that exactly what's going on in a lot of homes, and they just don't talk about that. That don't really be broadcast like that. And the reason why a lot of these quote unquote predators do not go to jail or go to prison because a lot of the victims do not talk about it because they're so embarrassed to go to the courts or to the judge or to the police and say, hey, this guy took advantage of me. They don't necessarily see that happening because a lot of guys feel like, they're going to be laughed at and the police going to be like, oh, you're a big guy. Why did you fight back? I had a buddy, he was assaulted and the police pretty much told him, hey, you a big guy. Why you didn't pretty much fight the dude off? That's what the guy was saying. Seems like, why you didn't fight him off? You're big. I'm like, what? Where did he tell you that? But that's what some of these cops, they're not, they're getting a little better now, taking training of how to handle a case in the community. But a lot of times, a lot of these police departments are not caught up when it comes to that. That's why a lot of people don't go to the cops. So that's when it comes to that. But we do want to interview Chris Stokes. I think that's one particular interview we want on this show. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people, they said, Wiley, don't interview Chris Stokes. Why you want to interview this person? Why you want to I said because I think it would be a great interview. I think it would be great because why not? If he come on the show, we can have a conversation not just about the rumors, allegations, but his career as a manager, his career as a Hollywood executive, his career as getting movies out, and him being a writer, etc., etc., etc. I would like to have that interview. Again, I'm not in a place to say this man are guilty or innocent because I don't know him personally. Even if I knew him personally, you got to be cautious saying that because I've seen some people will say, well, I know this person personally, and I know they won't do that. Unless you were there, you rarely don't know because with these type of allegations, it's literally Chris Stokes' word against Raz B word. Period. In these type of cases, unless you got some physical evidence, tape, or something, when it comes to cases like that, either with that, it's one party word against another party word. In this case, it's about he say. It's about whose side you believe. That's when it comes to these cases. When it comes to these cases and you don't report it and 10 years, 15 years go past, you really can't look at physical evidence. You can't look at clothes. You can't look at any of that. You got to go back. Well, he said he did it. Well, he said he didn't do it. He said this. He said that. So that's pretty much when it comes to this situation. Now, y'all let me know in the comments, do y'all think that he's guilty? Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all think that he's innocent. Let me know in the comments and let me know how you feel. And of course, we'll open up the phone lines and I'll allow you, the viewer, to give your opinion about if this man is guilty or if this man is innocent. Let's move on. All right. Now I want to get into Donald Trump. Let's get into Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump supporters are upset. It is getting so out of hand that now half of his supporters are on the no-flight zone, meaning that they're getting kicked off planes. They're not allowed to fly around freely, and a lot of people are saying this is too much. The reason why I said we should be cautious with this whole no-flight zone and stuff, because when black folks start to protest, then they can start to use, hey, we could put a lot of these black people on a no-flight zone since they want to go out here and protest. So we got to be very cautious on how we handle the situation. But if you were one of those folks that invaded the U.S. Capitol, property damage, and you terrorized and you tried to hunt down congressmen and congresswomen and also the Speaker of the House and some senators, if you actually did that, then you should be on a no-fly zone. You should be treated as a terrorist like everybody else if that was a Muslim that did it. So if you want to act like a terrorist, if this is what you want to do, then let's give you a taste of your medicine. Let me give you a taste of this no-flight zone. Let me embarrass you by kicking you off the flights and all of this. And some of those supporters have been on planes and they've been yelling out stuff, pretty much terrorizing people that don't support Trump. So if you want to act like that, you should not be on no airplane. When you're on an airplane, you want to be at peace. You want to get to your point A to point B. You don't want to be on a flight and somebody with a MAGA hat on screaming Trump and supporting Trump and then just blurting out slurs because you support somebody. You can support anybody in the world. Anybody in the world. But when you're out yelling and being aggressive with your support, that's a turnoff and you shouldn't be doing that. So a lot of folks are now out there getting felonies. There was one particular case with a young white man. He did not get his organic food. He wanted organic food, right? So I think his grandmother, his mother got on the news and said, my son is not getting his organic food. He want to eat organic food. So the judge said, hey, with the organic food, he can get his organic food. So we will have to abide by the judge, or the judge got involved and said, hey, the man can eat organic food. But I'm like, how many of our brothers and sisters in prison and have to eat that slop in prison? Or in jail. When I was in jail, I couldn't go to them and say, hey, I would like some organic food. Ain't nowhere in the world. You're going to eat what they serve you. If they serve you slop, they serve you slop. But this is clearly white privilege in the justice system that the judge say, hey, this person, even though he invaded the U.S. Capitol, even though he assaulted some U.S. Capitol Police, if he want to eat organic food, we're going to give him organic food. And it's probably going to be the best organic food ever, because when you eat organic food, they will have to get a special vendor to get the organic food to the detention center. And I guarantee that organic food probably going to be tasty. And it's sad because it's many black folks that's in prison and have to fight for their insulin, have to fight for medical treatment, have to fight for they like different type of dieting, and they don't get the same type of support like that. But it's like a whole nother list. Now, a lot of people think this man on the screen, Donald Trump, is going to impeach. Not impeach. I'm sorry. Is going to get impeached. The House won't that, but he's going to pardon all those protesters. I don't see that actually happening of him pardoning his people. He could do it. He's in his power to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. But the House is announced, I think tomorrow, which is Wednesday, they want to impeach. They're going to call for his impeachment. But this is the thing why I don't think that's not going to go anywhere. Because half of the Republicans, they're preaching unity, and they like, listen, the man about to get out of office. We don't want him to be impeached. I'm not going to vote for him to be convicted. The Senate is not going to do it at all. They're not going to convict him because the Republicans feel like, let him just go. He's about to leave office. Democrats get away with it. And Democrats is putting Biden in a tough spot because a lot of his people got to be nominated, confirmed. He got to confirm all of his, nominations that he's nominating people to his cabinet, to this job, to that job. But they're saying the Senate can't focus on two things when you're talking about having an impeachment trial. It's going to be too much. So I don't know. I feel like if you go through it, as long as they can pass the $2,000 stimulus, as long as they can cancel student loan debt and impeach, as long as they can do more than one thing, I'm for the impeachment. But if you know you can't focus on canceling student loan debt, if you can't focus on helping people that's facing evictions, if you can't focus on that, then put the impeachment on the back burner and focus on what really matters, which is helping folks that are battling with this coronavirus and helping saving small businesses that are suffering because of this coronavirus and helping some of these restaurants that are suffering, that's doing the dine-in services that are suffering. They need help, as well as the millions of Americans that need help and need some type of assistance from the government. So if you cannot do all that, then put that impeachment on the back burner, because y'all should have did this months ago. Y'all should have did this months ago. Don't try to talk about we need to remove him now. Just forget about it, because right now y'all have more pressing issues that are affecting the average American, that are affecting people right now. If you African American, they'll rather want the $2,000 stimulus versus y'all trying to remove somebody from office. Because if you can't focus on all that, then don't talk about no impeachment, because impeaching him and remove him, it's not going to change my financial condition as a person that's trying to pay their bills. It's not going to change that I still don't have nowhere to go. So you need to focus on that first. And canceling student loan debt, in my humble opinion. Right? Don't be talking about, I want him to be removed. You should have did that, Republicans, months ago. You didn't do it. Y'all sat there and y'all was in bed with this man that was preaching and teaching, spewing out hate. Now that it got so serious and that you had to hide under your desk, you got to do all this stuff. Oh, now we want him to be removed. Now you got some bank saying, oh, now we don't want to do business with Donald Trump. Boo-hoo. Now y'all don't want to do business with this man, because the reason why a lot of them pulling their support, because he's leaving office. If he had got reelected for 4 more years, you won't be hearing any of this stuff. He will still be on Twitter. He'll still be on Facebook. He'll still be able to be on YouTube. But the reason why they are not allowing him on any of that is because he's leaving the White House. So now what they're trying to do is erase him. And you can't, because you cannot erase the ideas that he put in the heads of millions of his followers. And it's a lot of people that believe in Trump, believe in that idea that this man was cheated out of this race. It's a lot of folks still believe that. And it's a lot of folks believe that he was good for this country. A lot of folks believe that he was keeping things the same way. He wasn't trying to get with the liberals and all that crap that they say. But I would tell you this, you're going to hear a lot from Trump. Because you got to understand, conservatives still have a massive media outlets. They got InfoWars. They got Fox. They got, what's the other one? It's another one. They got Fox. It's a lot of conservative media. They got the Diamond and Silks, whoever. It's a lot of them that have massive platforms and that are making big money. Okay? Massive platforms. So I don't see them trying to silence people or their support when it comes to, I don't see that happening. I don't. So when people say that, they just up there just talking. Let me put this for. And while we're talking about it, let's get into Carrie Hilson. Now Carrie Hilson got on her platform. Let me see what this lady wrote. Child, do I have her up here? So she speaks out against Trump's social media ban. So Carrie Hilson was like, what did she say? She said, can I find it? Oh, did she delete it? Okay, Carrie Hilson was like this. This may be funny, but it's a little dangerous too. Because she was responding to him being suspended from Twitter. Take Trump out of it for a moment. A democracy must include freedom of speech. Imagine other leaders or popular figures not being able to voice their opinion if it opposes the majority of the world leaders. Our freedom of speech being taken from us. Slowly but surely, censorship. If the leader of the free world can be removed, imagine the same right of civilians. Imagine believing every time you read false information detected and propaganda and flat out lies being the only thing we see. So she got dragged on social media. I understand what she was saying, but his freedom of speech was the reason of the death of those Capitol Police. It was the reason of the death of that white terrorist, because she invaded. She tried to break through the window. He was the reason, because he was preaching that. So they had no choice but to remove him from the platform. He was calling out. He was the reason for those riots. It was the reason. He was preaching that hate. He was weaponizing Twitter to get his followers to go out and do damage. So Twitter had no choice but to remove him. They should have did that months ago. They should have did that years ago, but they didn't. So since he did it with the U.S. Capitol, it was going to be consequences, because they don't want to be put on blame that it was our platform. So they shut it down. And then he got up on there and he said all this stuff. And one thing about Carrie Hilson, it was a bad timing for her as well as her career. She get up there talking about stuff and they're going to drag her, because that ain't the time or the place, because this ain't no time to talk about freedom of speech, because he was the reason why a lot of those followers went to Capitol Hill. They got orders from the president. So I don't want to try to hear, oh, that's against freedom of speech. I don't like it. When it comes to that, you're on their platforms. They have rules and regulations to abide by. And Twitter don't delete everybody, because with Farrakhan, they didn't delete Farrakhan from their platform. They removed him from the platform because they was like, he's not breaking any rules. He's not telling his people to go and do damage. But Trump, he did. And Trump literally got on social media and he got on Twitter. He's talking about, these are patrons. These are good, pretty much saying they're good people. And they're not patrons and good people who invaded, the U.S. Capitol, breaking windows, having racial slurs to people, beating up the media folk. No. So Carrie Hilson, that was bad timing. And of course, they're not going to take out Trump, because you can't remove Trump because you made a comment because of Trump being removed from Twitter. So you cannot say Trump, oh yeah, I'm going to take Trump out of it. Take Trump. I know they're not going to take Trump out of it, because you're making a comment of Trump being removed from Twitter, Carrie Hilson. You're so tone deaf. Maybe you toned deaf because you thought that 5G was the cause of the coronavirus. You were preaching a lot of conspiracy theories. And I'm like, can you get back to the pretty girl rock, Carrie Hilson? Can you get back to, you doing your music? Can you get back to being an artist and stop trying to give comments on politics when you're on the wrong side of history? Can you get back to knock you down? Can you get back to the way? Can you just get back and give us No Boys Allowed Part 2? Can you get back to Lose Control? Can you get back to Toy Soldier? Can you get back to Breaking Point? Can you get back to All the Boys? Can you get back to Pretty Girl Rock? Can you get back to Hustler? Can you get back to Fearless? Can you get back to doing music? Because you making these stupid comments trying to take up from a man that don't give a darn about your blackness. When you being a woman, then he don't care nothing about it. Okay? So you trying to bring that up. Of course you're going to be dragged on social media. You should be dragged on social media. You should. Okay? Get back to the singing. Get back on that stage. But did Beyonce people, did they cancel Carrie Hilson? Did the Beyonce people cancel her? Did they cancel her? I thought that she was canceled from did she get canceled from the Beehive? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did she try to throw some shade at Beyonce and they kind of canceled her from the Beehive? Do we got some people from the Beehive in the chat? Did she get canceled from the Beehive because she was trying to throw some shade at Beyonce? Let me know in the comments. Is that the truth? Because if I can remember, she said something stupid about Beyonce, and that's why she getting dragged. Okay? Did she? Did she say something against the queen, and they dragged her, and they said, you canceled, get out of here. They don't want to say, so, you know. Because I remember that, because she got canceled because like, she said something against Beyonce, and them fans still don't like her now. They still don't like her now. Because she always saying something stupid. She always saying something out of place. All right. They did end her career. We're going to move on. I like Carrie Hilson. I'm a big fan of her music. Not her ideas, what she's talking about, that preaching that crazy stuff. What she talking about. I ain't with that. So, Dr. Dre, y'all know he's in the hospital. Y'all pray for Dr. Dre. He's in the hospital. He's not doing good. Well, some people say he's doing good. And then other reports say he's still in an intensive care unit. But, you know, he did give his wife, I think, $2 million. He did give her like $2 million in payments. But his home was broken into. And these people, I don't understand why folks think that it's okay to break into people's homes. But his security caught the people that was going and would try to come on the premises. Why do y'all do this? And Diddy home was they broke into his home. I think they got in his home because there wasn't like really no security on the grounds because that's not where he stayed. I think his baby mama used to stay there before she died. She used to live at one of those properties. So it wasn't his place. But y'all stop breaking in these people's homes. It is people that watch the news and they watch the networks. They see when you're not at home. They see when you on Twitter out of town, and they try to take advantage of that. That's why it's important to have security on the grounds. Yeah, Kim Porter's house was broken into. I think that's what is in Diddy's name, and they made it about Diddy because I thought it was like Diddy home where he actually lived and reside and sleep and stuff like that. No, it was like the one that he had Kim Porter living in, and they broke into the home. And my thing is this: why you don't have security in these places, and then why have these empty places or have nobody, or have me living there? Diddy can have me living there. Why ain't nobody there? And I can watch over the place. You know, have me living there and everything like that. But it'd be a lot of times, it'd be people on these people's staff. It'd be people in their inner circle because a lot of these folks are jealous. I remember one time when Chris Brown home was broken into. He was invaded. His home was it was a home invasion, and I think his auntie was in the home, and they locked her in a closet. And it was some people in his inner circle that was the reason for that. So you got to be cautious on who you allow in your inner circle. You got to be very cautious on who you hire because them be the same ones that throw you under the bus. I do believe that was inside job. Even with Dr. Dre, home trying to be brought, I believe that's an inside job because I don't think that's a coincidence that you're battling legally with your wife and somebody comes on the ground and try to break into the home. So I think that was an inside job too. I am praying for Dr. Dre because he's under a lot of stress. My thing is this, brother, you ain't got to stress about it. You just need to just stop being stubborn and give that wife what she wants. And I'm going to say that again. Stop being stubborn and just give her half. Give it to her. Because she ain't going to let up. It's causing problems on your brain. You just get that woman, just say, you know what? Let me settle, and here you go. Let me give you $50 million. Just cut her a check and let it be go. Let it go. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of the women, they was like, that's what he get because he beat on women. I'm like, oh, child, here y'all go. All right. That's quite funny. That's some karma. Like, you get a brain aneurysm, but you used to call brain damage with a lot of those women that was in your home, and you used to do all that stuff. So you got to be careful how you doing. Okay? And that stress that's what you stress do not do well. Let me tell you, it does not do well. Stress can literally make you lose your mind. I was highly stressed. I wasn't eating. I was hearing voices. I was under so much stress, and I was not sleeping that I was over it. I was over, because I always go back to that moment. I was like, man, I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I was up all day. I'm talking about days, baby. Days, just saying voices and a lot of stuff. And it was a lot of stress that really got to me. A lot of stuff really, really got to me. And look what happened. It was a lot of damage. Now 20-some, well, how much money did I have to pay back completely? About $20,000 later in legal fees and damages. No, actually about $25,000 in legal fees and damages that it really caused you something. So I tell anybody, if you stressed out, get you a therapist, talk about it. Now I'm at a good place. So now if I'm stressing, I get my therapist on the phone. I will go, like even today, I got a session today. I go there and I speak to her and I lay down my problems and I just talk to her a lot. And, you know, she even tell me, because at first, because even when I was on social media, let me tell y'all something before I get to my next subject. I would do a lot of videos and I'd be so manic. I'll be on live for hours upon hours and hours every day, just hours and hours and hours. And I would never take a break. And so I had to talk to my therapist, and she said, yo, people going to be there when you get on there. You must first have your health as your top priority, and then let everything else follow. But never sacrifice your mental health, sleep to satisfy others, because that's going to be damage to yourself. You must first take advantage of your mental health. Make sure that you are sleeping, eating, exercising. But if it's too much, you know, cut it off. Because I used to be on YouTube a lot. So now, let me make sure. I used to be on YouTube a lot. I used to be on there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Every day. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just every day. I would go back live again, get done with the show, do it again. And it was damaging to me. So now I will take a break. If I'm tired, sleepy, stressed, I will take a break. Okay, now I'm here. And now I'm up. And I'm awake. And I'm ready. So that's a good break. So we definitely going to have, you know, Dr. Dre in our prayers. We're going to pray for the brother. Let's pray for him. Pray for him. That God heal him and that he stopped beating women. All right. Mary J. Blige, she celebrated her 50th birthday. Let me tell y'all something, Mary. I am a huge Mary J. Blige fan when she's depressed. And when she was going through, I would listen to her music. But it was one album that I like of Mary J. Blige she did in London. And she recorded the song and she recorded the album in London. What was the name of the album? Give me a second. The London Sessions. That is one of my favorite albums. I listened to Therapy. That was one of my good ones. And a whole damn year was my second song and Worth My Time. But that particular album, I listened to it. So it came back in 2014, but that was one of my favorite albums that I love her, even though I like her old stuff. But that recent album, I feel like it didn't get a lot of press. When it comes to that, it didn't get a lot of attention. But that album was definitely good when it came to that. It was awesome when it came to the album, was off the chain. But it was her birthday yesterday. I think it was yesterday, celebrated. No mask, by the way. And this is the coronavirus. It was no mask. It was no social distance. So Tyrese tried to take a picture with Mary J. And he tried to touch on her thigh. And Mary was like, I'm playing, not you ain't touching on my leg. And she looked good. Mary J. looked good. Looked blessed. look real good. Okay? She look on the chain. Did y'all see that? I would love to try to talk to Mary. At 50 years old, she looks good. And she went through a lot. Married a man that wasn't really good for her, cheated on her, and then she had to literally pay the man money because he was accustomed to a certain lifestyle. So she had to pay him spouse support. And I'm like, man. So out of all that, she is still standing. She is still looking good. She is still beautiful. And she's healthy. What are you here for? I would love to hear some more music from her. I would love to hear some more style from her music. I would love to hear it. I'm here for it. I would love to hear Mary with another album. We need to hear that. Because I think the last album she made, don't let that be what the last, I think, albums of hers. Was it The Strength of a Woman? Yeah, I think Strength of a Woman was the last one. I kind of like Strength of a Woman. I'm gonna listen to that again. You know what I'm saying? Mary, I listened to that. I think that was the last album. So we need another album. I think that came back in 2017. So we need another album from her because she looks good. Right? Yeah, Jaguar Wright is pressed. Jaguar wish she, look good. Ain't nobody coming to her birthday party and all that. I think Jaguar Wright is just definitely pitiful as a person, but I do see, Mary, so keep up the good work. Now, Tyrese, you tried it. Don't be trying to touch on Mary that you getting a divorce with your wife. Keep your hand to yourself. That's why you getting a divorce, because you can't keep your hand trying to touch on her thigh. You know what you was doing, because it looked good. But you can't touch on Mary thigh. She's like, no, player, don't touch on my thigh. He shouted because it looked good, because she got some thighs on her. Like, Mary looks good. I'll try to talk to her too, but, I ain't got no money. If I had the money, I'll try to talk to her. I don't know. I'll leave her voice note. But not right now. Trying to touch on her thigh. He tried it. I can't believe that. Oh my gosh. Now we gotta talk about LaToya Luckett and her husband. They getting a divorce, people. So her husband was like, oh, I didn't cheat on her at all. It ain't like that. I didn't cheat. I'm like, come on now. You did. Okay? Allegedly. So LaToya Luckett and husband announced divorce and hope to be loving parents, love always. So LaToya Luckett and her husband, they calling it quits. But if I can remember, she said he cheated on her, and that's what the situation was coming out, that they cheated. But LaToya Luckett wrote a statement. Let me see if I can read her statement, what she wrote. Let me go to it. Her statement was this. She said, after very prayerful consideration, I have decided to get a divorce. It's my deepest desire for us to be loving co-parents and keep a peaceful environment out of respect for our children. Please understand our need for privacy. Come on now. I hate when people talk about need for privacy. Girl, y'all announced this publicly, so y'all ain't gonna have no privacy. Thank you in advance for your prayers, support, space to heal. Okay. It ain't gonna be no privacy. We're going to talk about it publicly. I hate when these celebrities say, oh, please give us our privacy. Baby, y'all announce it publicly. Baby, y'all are public figures. And baby, we're going to talk about it publicly. We ain't going to keep this private. We're going to talk about it. So, listen, did he stick his pin? Who did he cheated on with? Who was the person? Was she white? Was she black? Was she light? Was she dark? But it was rumored that the man cheated. I could believe it. A lot of these men don't be doing all that stuff. Y'all want to keep private? Delete your social media. True. We gonna talk about it. Keep it private. We ain't gonna respect that privacy. We gonna talk about it. Probably cheated. LaToya Luckett probably can't do all that nasty stuff. Probably didn't want to get hit. Probably didn't even want to get hit from the back. You know what I'm saying? Probably don't like to get on her knees and suck. He probably, no teller. He probably would like to get hit from the back and probably like to get plugged. She probably said, no, I don't want you to lick it no more. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do all that stuff. Probably got stuff. When you had kids, you tend to get a little lazy in the bedroom. Maybe she got lazy in the bedroom. Who knows? He probably got lazy. Probably didn't want her. Probably said, get away. I don't want to do it and all that. He probably went on, got somebody. It looked like he like to get his thing. He sucks up. All that type of stuff. So, no telling. Don't tell her what happened. What? Don't tell her what happened. Let me just tell y'all something so funny, y'all. Okay, I was watching this the Wiley Show, so I'm gonna say this, and I was triggered to say this. So I'm watching Dr. Larry Reed. Baby, I was watching Dr. Larry Reed. I like watching Dr. Larry Reed because he talk about all the church mess. So I watched this episode yesterday, and Dr. Larry Reed said I tried to play in my butt, but my thumb got locked because in the butt, if you a bottom, it's a lot of stuff that's in the butt, and so I stick my and my thumb got locked. I said, why did you have to say that? When he said that, I fell out of the bed. I said, why this man talking about he stuck his thumb up his butt and his thumb got locked? Did y'all hear that? That man said that. And so, you know, I can't believe that. He got on his platform and he said, yeah, I tried to play it. I put my thumb up there and all that type of way, but my thumb got stuck. It got locked. I said, what? Did you just say that? You talking about the bishop's bottom and all that, and you stuck your thumb up that rectum? None of my fingers ever locked when I did do some sticking. Okay? It was a guy that I used to talk to. He went to UIC. Was it UIC? Yeah, I think it was UIC. He was in college, and I was like 22, 23. I wasn't in college, but he was in college. And he was like, "Why you got to come in my dorm or whatever?" So I would come in his dorm. I'd be like a whole college student. Have my book bag. You'd have thought I was a UIC student. And went to his dorm, and we did it in the shower, and he wanted me to stick my finger up his, back door. And that's what I did. I stuck it up there. Boom, boom, boom. It is what it is. And he just reached a moment, just all up there. And my fingers didn't lock. It was in the shower. Or was that in my apartment? No, that was in my other apartment that we had. Because my grandmother and I, we had got another apartment. And she never moved in that. Then that's when I stuck it up there. It wasn't in the dorm. It wasn't in the dorm. We did screw in the dorm. Because it's a picture on the internet with me in a purple shirt. And that's when I took that picture in his dorm room. I did. Yeah, I took it a picture in his dorm room. But I took it was in a secret apartment, the other apartment that we had. Yeah, that's what I did to that. It was a flashback. I stuck it up there and everything. Yes, I did. I truly did. He was jerking and everything like that. Yeah, I'm just so and I met him. I think I met him at the grocery store. Did I meet him at the grocery store? I don't know how I met him. Probably on Facebook or the grocery store. But yeah, he said stick it up there, and I did. I obliged by the order. He said stick it up. I'm like, if you want me to stick it up there, okay, I'll stick it. Wow, I stuck it up there, and I went. Yeah, and I said, okay, yes sir, okay. Went all the way up there. His body was just jerking. Yeah, I went up there. And no problem. So, oh, wow, you should talk like that. That's what I did in my past. I was something. I was a whore. I went all that, man. I was thinking about it. I was up there. All right. And he was just in my ear. He was like, yeah, deeper. And I went deeper. And we were all up there. I was seeing areas like, woo, Lord, I thought I was doing surgery back there. But he wanted it. Okay, he said deeper, and I did it deeper. I might bring him on my show. I'm gonna have to track him down and bring him on the show. Okay, he was a UIC student. He was in college. He was a college man, and I remember, and yeah, we just had a connection. I don't know, where did I meet him at? I can't even think of this man's name. Oh my gosh! But I met him, and it was just the connection was just there. I was in there. He said, do it deeper. I used to do a lot of stuff. So I was nasty. So I got to be careful. I can't name his name because y'all will go Google him. So I ain't going to say his name because it's in my mind, but I ain't going to slip it out because y'all ain't about to go out and do all that. It was great. It felt good. He was in it. It's like, woo. I didn't even know my fingers could do that. All right. But that was a trigger. Dr. Larry Reed got me triggered. Why did I have to listen to that man? He got me triggered. But that's what he said. He said, yeah, y'all. I put my thumb up there. My thumb got locked. I said, what did he just say? I like Dr. Larry. I've been following Dr. Larry Reed for years. When I was in my blog talk radio days, you know, Dr. Larry Reed, he was a gospel singer. So he was do gospel songs, Beautiful Family, everything. So word on the street, a couple of us internet DJs, we was like, I think he go that way. And I was like, I don't know. And I asked him, he said, no, he don't go that way. And so I interviewed him. Yeah, this was way back then. This was before Dr. Larry Reed kind of like blew up as a, as a online person. Because at first he was just a radio show person. He would do interviews. He would just do music. I didn't know him as Larry Reed Live because at that time he didn't really have Larry Reed Live like that. It's just started to pick up a little bit, but he wasn't really in a mess. He was a gospel singer. He would go to Essence. He would do all that stuff, and I would follow him as an artist. I used to love his music, and he was just a good guy. You know, I think on the internet he was just a good guy, and he remembered me, and I liked it. His stuff is really, really funny. Really, he funny. I like him. Support her. All right, let's get to our last subject, Erica Banks. Now, Erica Banks, I've been saying this forever. Erica Banks definitely is next in hip-hop. I've been saying it forever. She's going to be the next top star when it comes to female hip-hop, okay? She did right by doing interviews and everything like that. She's humble. She ain't got no boob job. She ain't got no butt job. Her butt is flat. Her boobs are flat. So she ain't really accustomed to being this new, you know, type of girl, getting it plunged up, getting all these surgeries. So her song Bust It came out last year, and it was a great song. But now Bust It is literally heating up the charts with TikTok. And everybody is doing a Bust It challenge on TikTok. Everybody's doing it. Who was that? Monica, other artists did it. But I have a problem with it, though. What's the problem? This the big problem that I have with it. When you are doing the Bust It challenge, please tag Erica Banks in a post that you are doing the challenge and you are doing it off of Erica Banks. What is the problem of you tagging it in your post, tagging her on your post? If you're going to do a challenge, tag her. That's the only thing. I don't see a lot of people tagging Erica Banks on their posts. Now, Erica Banks did it. Oh, gosh. How can I say this? Lord. She did the challenge. It was a disaster. And she's adorable. You know Erica Banks is adorable. This woman did the challenge with her hairy armpits, did the challenge, and they was like, girl, what? This is embarrassing. Do another challenge. This ain't good. So she really did a challenge. So she really need a lot of, you know, Erica Banks need a lot of work for on stage. She don't have the budget like that. But she did the challenge, and it wasn't the best. Because everybody else doing the challenge, think looking good. I'm like, Erica, you need to do a little bit better. I would say do a redo. I wouldn't have did this showing your armpits like that. Shave your armpits and all that type of stuff. You know, you could have danced on the guy. I would have did a little bit more freakier if I was her. If I was in the room, I'm like, dance on him. You know, dance on him. You know, you gotta, you know, it's your song. Did y'all see it? It's your song. It's literally your song. You should have been out there. Hey. You should have been doing a little bit better. And then shade them hairy armpits, you know. I saw them here. I saw the armpits. I'm like, is that hair under there? Hairy armpits like that? So Erica Banks got on her Twitter. Gotta be careful because, you know, people in the bushes watching because they might send this to Erica. She might block me. So if I get blocked, y'all already know it's some spies in the bushes. But she said, give me a second. Let me see if we have that on there. Do I have her tweet? She tweeted something. Well, she been tweeting a lot. But she pretty much said, she said this, I want Nicki to do the challenge too. So she want Nicki to do the challenge, and that song really gonna blow up if Nicki does it. She really want Nicki to do it, but I don't think Nicki would do it. Okay, I don't think Nicki would do it. But anywho, She wanted Nikki to do it, but she got on there. She said, I know y'all didn't like it, but I'm not doing it over because everybody was like, girl, you need to do that over. What the world were you thinking? And then the guy she was doing it in front of, she should have just been dancing. She should have did a little bit better. But hey, I still love her though. I still love her. I still love Erica Banks. She's adorable. You gotta be careful because you can't criticize because they in the bushes watching. I'm gonna be blocked, all that type of stuff. But tag her. Tag her. In there. That's the only thing that I have to say. Right, people? Hold on, let me say this. Just tag her in the post. Did I say that right? If y'all gonna do her challenge, at least tag her in the post. So shout out to all the media outlets that's giving her press. Now people are catching on Erica Banks. She is the next girl. Watch and learn. She's the next one to come up. She's already working with some people in the industry. Some mainstream rappers are catching on with her now. Nikki is going to work with her now. She's going to be next, and I think it's deserving of her. Her album. Let me tell you, her mix. I think it's a mix. I don't think it's an album. I call everything albums. Let me go to Erica Banks. If you need to get her into her sound, if you have an iPhone or if you have an Android, go there and download Erica Banks. Listen to her music. It is on there right now. It is good. It is great. I love her music. She has some interviews that she did with a couple of content creators. Definitely great. Daytime interviewed her. So y'all can go and check her interviews out and really get to know her. A lot of people was throwing out shade against her. Okay, it was her EP. Was throwing out shade, talking about, oh, she's Megan wannabe. She's not a Megan wannabe. But anytime you're a female artist, they always will compare you to the top. Everybody goes through it. Nikki went through it with Kim. Erica gonna go through it with the Megan. So, but you don't be focused on that. Just stay focused. And she's staying very focused. Everybody kept saying that's Erica. Megan, that's Megan's daughter. She's a Megan. It's like a copycat. No. Erica got her own style. She got her own swag, right? She got her own style and swag. and she's definitely great. When what 1501 did is, since our other artist Megan, we still signed her, let's get another artist. You don't just have a record label just with one artist. You do it so you get multiple artists on your record label. It's business. I don't know what's the problem. They was trying to come at Carl like, he shouldn't have signed her. He already got it. No, he can have multiple female MCs on there. Think it's great. Because she's an awesome artist. And she could be a great moneymaker. She's young. She's beautiful. She's talented. You know what I'm saying? She just needs to be groomed a little better. Shave her armpits. You know what I'm saying? Dress her a little bit better. Fix her hair up a little bit better. Get a different team. She needs a different glam squad. Other than that, she's talented. Don't take away from her talent. Increase the budget of her videos. But all that is going to increase when she make it. This is going to be her year this year. This is going to be her year. Right? It's going to be her year this year. How many of y'all believe it? How many of y'all believe that Erica Banks, I told y'all that, I said, this is going to be her year. I feel it in my spirit. This is going to be the year of Erica Banks. And I'm glad that this woman is doing this. I'm glad that she have her parents that support her and all of this. This is the year of her. This is her year. This is her time. Hey, I felt that. I said, this woman, this is her time. This is her season. This is her season. And this is going to be great. So I'm glad, I'm glad that us as consumers, we have other people in the media that in hip hop that we can choose to like. We can like her, we can like Megan, we got Cardi B, we got Nicki. We have so many artists that are in the marketplace, and I think this is a great time for the consumer. You have so many people. I'm gonna do the lottery thing to do too. So we got a lot of people. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. Thank you for reminding me. I got to go to get my lottery ticket. Hey, felt that right there and there. Hey, Baba Ha, I felt that. That's a year. Woo! I know I'm going to be blessed. I feel it. I wake up every morning. I'm going to be a millionaire. Hey! I feel like Sean right now. I felt that in my spirit. Things about to change for me. All right, I felt that right there. All right, I felt that right there. I felt that. I know things about to change for me, baby. I'm telling you, it's going to have to change. Good God, but my mindset is changing. I think about it every day. Every day I think about it. My roommate said, what are you talking about? I said, man, when I get a millionaire, I'm about these properties. I'm talking about investments. My roommate, he be getting tired of me when I be talking about myself, but he be the only person that be here. Sometimes he'll close his door, but when he come in that living room, baby, that's like my domain. I said, I'm gonna have that money. When it comes, I'm going to break through that poverty. I'm gonna just body slam poverty and put my knee on it and say, never again will I be broke. All right. Woo. I felt that in my spirit. I feel like shouting because I know the Lord gonna do it. Hallelujah. I know he's gonna do it for me. Oh, Lord. If I win the lottery, oh, Lord, Jesus, I feel like shouting right now. Woo, good God Almighty. I feel like, oh, bye. I feel like shout. Woo. How many times, because when you tired of being broke, and I know I'm saying, I said, this can't last always. I know God gonna do that for me. Oh, that's one of my
Your show
desires,
now,
to be
press
financially
1.
secure.
Your show is scheduled to start in 25 seconds.
Let me go. I felt that right then and there. We talking about Erica Banks, but this is a year, and I know my year is coming. I know it's coming. I can't get lazy now. You can't get
Your
lazy.
show will go
You
live
gotta
in
just
5
keep at it.
seconds. 4,
'Cause
3,
it's happening.
2,
Thank
1.
you.
Blog
Let me
Talk
put my
Radio.
phrase in right now. Thank you, Lord. Woo! Thank you, Lord. Okay. I know some of y'all, so I need a blessing too. We all need a blessing. All right. Woo! All right. The phone lines is open. Erica Banks, if you're in the bush, just call in. Let's go to the phone lines. If you're in the bush, just call in. Okay? How many people? I know it's going to happen for me. It's going to be millions of dollars. Woo! That is going to happen. All right. Let's go. This show going to be very, very profitable. It's going to happen. All right. So the call lines is open. All right. Let's go. And speak on the subjects, people. Turn me down in the background. Don't cuss me out. Because if you cuss me out today, I promise you, you will, I promise you this. You come on Station Head, I'm going to drag you on Station Head, okay? Anybody that want to cuss me out, say that for Station. Don't come on my platform trying to cuss me out. Some of y'all don't be doing all that type of stuff, because on Station Head, keep that same energy, and we can go back and forth. All right, let's go to the internet. Let's go to the phone lines. 9867, caller, you on the air.
Hello, Wiley and Chat. This is the voice from New York. If I sound different, I just got 2 of my teeth pulled out. So let's get into some things. I think with Chris Stokes, I think they need to do a documentary, like Saving from Chris Stokes. I do think Chris Stokes did rape those little boys. I know you mentioned like why he didn't say anything. I guess if he says something, he will incriminate himself. So it's kind of like let the people talk. He seems like he has nothing else to to say. So I think that's his ideology, because then he's going to give it credence if he does reply. Instead, he wants Raspy to look like he's crazy. As far as you mentioned, like why Raspy keep going back, I do think it's a Stockholm syndrome. Sometimes the victims do go back to the abuser and be involved. I remember he was so young when that happened to them, and they had like no type of protection, that it was ridiculous during that time. But I do think something did happen, and I do think they need to get justice, because Raspy's been talking about this for a very long time. A very long time. So hopefully you can come on your platform and make that happen. As far as Trump, I'm glad they blocked him on Twitter and all the other places. Like, you know you're bad if you get blocked on Pinterest. right? Because Pinterest also blocked him as well. The thing is, now we don't know what Trump is doing, Wiley. That's the only thing I don't like. Like, I like to follow his shenanigans so that we can prepare ourselves. Now we can't do that.
Yes, we can.
Because
Trump is leaving. And right, if he want to speak, he can go to the press. He still got all the major press outlet in the world. He's still the president of the United States. We got 8 to 9 more days. So he still can talk about what he's going to talk about. He did make a statement. He said it's dangerous of what Nancy Pelosi and them are doing and all of that. I don't think they should impeach him and try to remove him because obviously I don't see the Senate. I don't see them convicting and removing him. Because right now, the Republicans now, from my understanding, they're already strategizing for the next 2 years, for the next 4 years. Because right now, they're losing power. So I don't see them as being profitable for the Republican Party to remove Trump because it will damage the party. So I don't think they would obviously remove him as of right now. It's too late. They're thinking 2 years from now. They're thinking 4 years from now. So it's like, I don't see them actually doing that. I don't. It will shock me if they do it. I'm like, okay, Republicans, y'all got some cojones now, but I don't necessarily see that happening.
I mean, if they did, it's just because they don't want him to run again, which is what I don't want. Like, I don't want him to run again at all. But I feel like they won't do it because if they do, all the Trump supporters will not support the Republicans who went against Trump in 2024. And that's what most of them are considering moving forward. So I can only imagine that. I do think Trump may have his own platform because how else are they going to congregate, right? I like to know the nonsense that they're doing so that we can prepare ourselves for the Civil War if that's happening. I just don't like being blindsided. But just so we're clear, the reason why he got kicked off is because once you break the terms and conditions of any private company, they have the right to do so. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's against his rights, like Carrie Hilson. And Carrie Hilson didn't understand that every time you sign on to a website, you agree to their terms and conditions. He violated that, so he had to get the boot because it's a private company. He can still talk. He can still go on the news if he wants to, just not on their private platform. So just want to make that clear. Another thing that you mentioned is I do think with this LaToya Luckett getting divorced, why has to be LaToya Luckett not being freaky? Maybe her husband is not doing what she wanted to do. Maybe she wanted to pet him.
But if
and
I'm
he
not,
said, hell no.
I think LaToya Luckett, she said he cheated on her. I think that was the rumor. I think she said it, or I think that was the word on the street. I think that's why I said that. But go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So if he cheated on her, I'm glad that she divorced him, and hopefully she signed a prenup, so he doesn't get the bag like Mary J. Blige's husband got the bag. Because, yes, Mary J. Blige looks good for 50 years old, but if I was Mary J. Blige, I'll be mad that I have to pay my husband prenup, right? Because he's living off good off of Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
And, if you get me
but
wrong.
that's the price that you pay when
good.
you are marrying a man that financially didn't have it like you, and they're accustomed to a certain lifestyle. That's what they're going to preach. Hey, you give me the money.
I agree. A lot of men are simps nowadays, and there's a lot of gender reversal as far as like what I mean by that is like men don't mind getting paid to sit at home and get the bag too. That's what I mean by that, right? Like women get to protect their assets as much as possible. And I don't blame if I was a dude and I'm dating someone who's a celebrity or someone who has status and we divorce, hell yeah, I'm gonna come for your bag. That's how it works. Well,
okay.
I know it's wrong, but I'll do the same thing.
All right.
This is why prenup is important. Okay, or date within your same income. Okay, because these men nowadays don't care. They're like, you know what? You making money? I want to make money too. We're gonna make money together with your income. And lastly, with this busted challenge, she did. Erica Banks was the worst out of her own challenge. And like, girl, if you're not gonna come hard, don't come at all. If you're not gonna come hard, don't come at all. She looks dusty. I don't know. That's a Texas style because I think sometimes people from Texas just dress very outdated. I don't know. They just look very run down. But she could look better I mean, you don't have to have the expensive budget, right? Like Fashion Nova is not that expensive. It's how you fix it up, right? You can dress inexpensive, but just know how to put clothes together. But he just always looked ragged down. Like her busted challenge was not it. Wally, are you gonna do a busted challenge for us? You should do one for us while you're in the gym.
Okay, I'm gonna have to learn how to. I'm trying to learn how to do TikTok, so I can give me a TikTok and do all that. Okay, I had a friend. He's on TikTok. He won't tell me how to do it. I think he's a hater because I kept asking him like, "Dude, can you teach me how to do TikTok?" But I'm gonna learn how to do TikTok so I can learn how to do all that stuff. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna have to get some tutorials and do it because there's 2 TikToks I want to do. I want to do the walk. I want to do the bust it. I want to do those 2 and put it on my IG. I gotta start doing that more and use TikTok.
Yeah. Okay, yes, please do, and let us know when it's posted.
I will let you know. I will let you know. Thank you.
No problem, and thank you so much, Wally. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. We got 2 callers here. All right, people, call in. So I can hear from you. 9271. Call you on the air.
Hey, Wally, this Miss Seattle.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right.
Good. And now I'm in the older generation. I'm 52 going on 53. And, yeah, I'm going to do the busted challenge. I can do that.
You going to do the busted challenge?
I'll make it happen.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to make it happen. I surely am. But I do want to tell you, young girls out there, y'all need to clean your house up before you do the busted challenge. Look in your background before you start press and play and record, please. I've seen some nasty rooms and some nasty homes out there. Clean it up. Get it together, ladies.
Yes.
Yes, in terms of Carrie Hilson, I understood what she was saying because, like she said, and this is what a lot of people didn't do. They didn't take, what's his name, Trump out of the equation. If you took Trump out of the equation, if you thought about it as Black Lives Matter, what if they stifled and shut down Black Lives Matter, or if you were talking in regards to that? It would be the same thing. However, this is where I think she failed in regards to her message. Her timing was wrong. It was like Ice Cube. His timing was wrong. You have to think about your audience. You have to think about the timing. You have to think about what are the possible, what do you want as a result when you're going to speak out? And this is for anyone. That includes you, Wally, in particular, as someone who the masses listen to. And you do have a mass that listens to you. So you do have to think about your audience, your timing, and what you're saying and what you want to get out of it. And is this the right time? Are you going to get out of it what you want to get out of it? And this wasn't the right time for her to say that, particularly for her. But, it is what it is.
All right. I thank you. And you know what? I want to say this, too. It's really not the right time. And I want to say this to Carrie Hilson. You have to know the tone. You can't be tone deaf. And my thing with Carrie Hilson, a lot of people love Trump. I don't care. A lot of people, it's some black folks that even love Trump. They love the power that Trump represent, and they show their true colors from who was that? Lil Wayne all the way up to now. You got Carrie Hilson. That's a lot of people that love what Trump represent. Even some black people love what Trump represent. They miss that, and there's a lot of media folks gonna miss Trump too because that's why they was getting their best ratings when he was on Twitter. When he would be up dragging folks, they will report it. They will repost the tweets.
They're going to keep him alive. They're going to keep it going. Best believe.
But the thing about it is with Trump, Fox
him into going for president again. They're going to speak that out there.
Facts. But I think with Trump, when you're going to see more of Trump just on TV. Oh, he said this on Fox. He's going to be saying a lot of stuff on Fox News. And Fox News is going to get the ratings. They're going to get whatever conservative outlet. That's what he's going to be preaching his message. And, of course, he's going to be on DonaldTrump.com where he's going to live stream his messages. Right. So he's going to pretty much go that route. And he will travel the country more to let his base know that I'm here. So, and
Oh yes,
and
he has an audience.
he have a big audience. He's still got a lot of power in the Republican Party because people forget that he still won the most Republican votes in history, which Donald Trump won in the presidential race. He leads as Republican candidate. 75 million people. So that's big for Trump. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it's gonna be in the next 6 months, a year, and especially during the midterm elections.
Right. And you know what it actually shows? It shows what America has always been. It's just been undercover, It's just been undercover. And it has always been like this.
Facts.
We have always been who we are, and they have always been who they are. It's just that it got back to the point because it started where they can show their prejudice right out. Then it was made, they have to be undercover with their prejudice. And now they've been told that they can be back out with their prejudice again. And you know what? If you talk to people who lived in the South versus people who lived in the North, the people in the South were like, yeah, I knew that Jimbo up the street were prejudiced. It was cool. I knew where he stood. He knew where I stood. In the Northwest, where I am, they're undercover. They're sneaky. They're underhanded. They're going to smile in your face and everything and then stab you in the back. Which one do you want? Choose.
Well, I don't want none of it. I want you.
Exactly, but it is what it is.
Okay.
It is what it is. And this is life depending on where you live.
I don't want none of it, but okay.
This is life depending on where you live.
But it's been that way. It's in the fabric of America. Racism never went away. It's in the policy. It's in the voter ID laws. If you see how police are taking out black men and women, see how the mistreatments, they're still protected. So racism is still in the fabric of this. It's never, I don't think it would ever be erased from this country. It is embedded in the DNA of this country. And the more and more black people get power and assume power, the more you get resistance from white folks. You're going to continue to get that. This is only the beginning. It's not the end. This is the beginning of the new resistance of white folks because they see the power
and
that
it
black
can get
people
worse.
are killed. It can get worse, and it will get worse. Anytime you get us rising up and accumulating power, they will continue to resist. White folks don't like that.
Yes.
They don't like us coming in.
Yes.
Even if
Wiley.
we do something to help
them.
listening. Thank you for calling in. All right, let me go to the next. Bye-bye. Let me go to the next caller. Even if you're doing good for them, they still will resist and be like, y'all black. 4649, call you on the air.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Wiley. This is Chastity. I am calling from New Orleans, Louisiana. I am here to talk about Miss Erica Banks.
Yes.
Because I have a few things to say about her busted challenge from a different sort of lens than everybody else.
Yes.
When she first posted her challenge, I definitely sensed a bit of insecurity immediately. And it was because she said, I don't have no ass. Here is my challenge, y'all. It was kind of like she was just throwing it out to us to give us something because everybody kept asking for her challenge. But in my opinion, we have to think about Erica Banks is a bit new to the scene when it comes to the rap girlies. Okay, like you said, she's getting her coins up. She don't have the body that all of the girls have. She doesn't have the big boobs and all of the cheeks and all of that. So she may feel a bit insecure when it comes to her challenge. But at the same time, I mean, everybody has been sort of begging for it. Everyone has sort of been asking her to do it. So you can't really fault her for giving y'all something. I do agree with her. If I didn't feel, as secure about my body, this is the challenge y'all getting, and that's all y'all gonna get from me. But at the same time, I don't know. I have a soft spot for her. I mean, even though I wasn't really feeling her at first, when she first signed to 1501, because I personally felt like she was just a little Megan Thee Stallion fill-in. I like her. I like her now. And I think that she is doing well with this single. And, I'm wishing her more success.
Let me say this. I put all the success too. I just feel like she just needed me in the room because I would have told her to bust it on the guy, do it. Who was the guy she was with? She was with the he's a singer, right? She should have just danced on him or something.
Exactly.
You know, I would, because he was
That
just
was-
up there.
yeah, that was
He was just up there
easy.
standing, dance on him or something. Do something, you know, that's gonna get some buzz. Just her just doing that wasn't. Should have danced on him, busted right on him. You know, lap dance or something like that.
I agree. I've seen him a few times. I don't listen to his music, but I was hoping that at the very least, if we wasn't gonna see no ass, that she could have maybe twerked on him or done a little something. And he was pissing me off anyway because I was like, "Why are you here? Are you gonna bust it for us, sir?" But
I just think they
that's
did
all I
it
gotta
that
say
because
about that.
what they're trying to do, they're trying to push Erica, you know, to the mainstream. And they're going to try to latch her on to other guys. I do think she will get her work done on her body. Her breast's going to get bigger. Her butt's going to get bigger. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. Even though I don't think she needs to do that. It's ways to still be sexy without all that. But she's going to be pressured by her label, by people around her. Oh, you need to get your butt done. You need to get your breast done. Eventually, she's going to get that. Because every female MC that I've seen, a lot of them got work done to their bodies.
Exactly.
I think she will
I
get
agree
it.
with that.
You know. Well, we thank you so much for calling in. But I will tell you this: do you think Erica Banks is next in line to be the next leading voice in female hip hop?
Now that I definitely grew up on the Foxy Browns and the Lil Kims and even the Nicki Minaj's. So I don't really know if she's next up, but I'm rooting for her. I will say that.
I would say she's working hard, and for her to a year later, because the song "Busted" came out last year, and to see it getting picked up now, I think that's great for Erica Banks. Only thing she have to do now is build up that momentum. Now, after this challenge die down, she need to release a track. Why it's hot?
Yeah,
she need to release a song with a hot artist. She have to, so they could be like, "Oh my gosh, Erica Banks' new track out with such and such." It need to happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Either with Tory Lanez, the baby, or Tory Lanez, that would be very controversial. That would really heat up the streets.
Ooh, that would be
that will be hot. Okay, because everybody gonna be like, "What the world you doing?" I think that would be dope. I think she should try to talk to Tory Lanez and do a record with Tory Lanez. It will. Number one, he's still a popular artist, and everybody and their mama will be talking about it. Like, why is she doing this? She doing this against Megan.
And that's what we need. More people talking about her. So you're right about that.
That's what she needs, and I think that will be a great. I think we shall see how that's gonna go. I do believe she's gonna be next in line. If she play her cards right, she can be the next leading lady in female hip hop. But thank you, sister, for calling in.
Yes, thank you. I love the show. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye-bye. Let me get to this caller. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hey, Riley.
Hey.
I want to first talk about Erica Banks. I think y'all got to let her live. She's just getting started, and I think it's commendable that she even did the challenge herself. You know, not a lot of these celebrities do their own challenge. So the fact that she actually did the challenge herself, you know, it may not have been the best, but she did do the challenge, and I think she did well. You know, she's not fully polished. I think let's give her to the end of the year. Once she gets that budget and get that money behind her and that backing, she would definitely be a lot more polished. But, you know, you got to commend her for, you know, actually doing the challenge. I'm glad that her song is doing well. And I do think that she is going to be one of the next best things that's coming up in the music industry as far as females is concerned. Now, I do want to say, like what you were saying as far as, you know, please tag her. I do see a lot of people posting the challenge, but she's not being tagged. I don't even think the Shade Room posted her, but they are posting other celebrities that's doing the Busted Challenge. I don't even think that they posted her challenge, nor are they tagging her. So I do see that, and I don't know, maybe the Shade Room is on Megan's payroll or something, but I do see that. In regards to Raz B just needs to just go ahead and press charges on Chris Stokes. Start an investigation and get that going, because he's really dealing with some things that he has been dealing with for quite some time. And for some reason, it seems like every time he comes across some type of triggering point, then he, started speaking out on social media, and he really needs some healing, some counseling, and he really needs to try and get an investigation launched and get Chris Stokes locked up, for taking advantage of him and assaulting him, as well as some of the other members of his group.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Okay. I didn't know if you were still there.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is Trump. I think Trump needs to be out. I do think that they need to start the impeachment process. I think he needs to be arrested, because had that been Obama would have been impeached. Obama would have been arrested. I mean, let's think about it. Like, if you're sending somebody out there to go commit a crime and they commit a crime, why shouldn't you get charged with that? They've been charging black people for how long for crimes that they didn't commit, just for being there, and they didn't even know their friend was going to go ahead and go commit that crime. And these people have been going in and taken in for murders and have been executed. So, I mean, 5 people died as a result of that whole terrorist attack on Capitol Hill. So why shouldn't Trump pay for that? 5 people lost their lives as a result of that. And the way that they're treating them versus the way that they would treat us is ridiculous, okay? One dude wants organic food in jail. Seriously?
And can I ask?
And his mama, he's not eating because it's not organic.
It's not
and the
organic.
judge granted it. Like, that white privilege, like, really? You know what I'm saying? It's sickening. It's
and the
sickening.
reason why I think that they're not going to come at Trump, because some legal experts were speaking on, because they're saying what he was is political. It was a speech. It was all politics. He would be. I don't necessarily see him being charged, but if that was a black leading voice, that if that was Reverend Al Sharpton saying that, and black folks invaded, Reverend Al Sharpton probably would have been charged inciting a riot. You know what I'm saying? But of course,
Absolutely.
when you're white, you get a pass, and and all. It's crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a double standard. And Carrie Hilson, for her even making a statement, like, I understand what she was saying, but for her to make a statement like that, like, do she not understand that, black voices have been silenced for years? I mean, they already muting Tory. You see his music being taken down. What about Minister Farrakhan? What about, other celebrities, R. Kelly, all these other people? So it's not like that, they haven't been taking away, our free rights to speak or exercise our voice. They have been doing that for years. So what makes Trump any different?
Facts. What makes him any different?
Essentially inciting hate, okay? And he's pretty much, making racism be way more alive than what it has been. He's riling that stuff back up. So his Twitter account needs to be shut down. His Facebook needs to be shut down. His Pinterest, everything. He does not need a way to communicate with those people that came in and ambushed Capitol Hill. He don't need no way. He has the media, and if he needs to say something that's worth a damn, he needs to talk to the media. That's it.
Facts. And we shall see what he's going to say when he talks to the media. And
That's
what's going to be his statement.
I'm serious. Because, they've been muting us for how long? They've been censoring us. They allow us to say certain things, and certain things they don't like. What they do, they delete your content. They delete your information.
Can I say this? It looked like I'm distracted, but I'm reading a post with somebody that just emailed me, and they were saying, why is it that people want Trump to be signed? He's the president, so you should allow him to be up there. It is a certain limit. And this person was emailing me all week, and they're conservative, because they believe that Trump should lost the race because they cheated, and that's not. I don't think nobody cheated. Trump just lost. If you're preaching hate and they invaded the state capitol, if they continue to allow him up there, when is it going to end? Obviously, Twitter should have been. Twitter should have been
but here's
ended
the thing.
him.
He's the leader, right, Wiley?
He's the leader of the free world, and whatever he say on that can literally bring peace, and it also can bring damage. And what he was preaching on wasn't unity, wasn't peace. It literally brought damage. And let's be clear. He didn't tell him on Twitter. He literally went outside. See, this is where the danger going to come over with Trump. He still can speak to people outside and still get rallies. That's how it started. It didn't really start on, that's how they communicate. But he went live outside with all those followers and say, march to the U.S. Capitol. The spirit of it was high. And you felt it in the atmosphere. Now, the police and all the National Guard, the Secret Service, all of them just failed. Because you felt the energy from the speakers. And them with all those hats, they knew that it was going to be damaged. They knew they was going to do that. So my thing is this, why didn't y'all stop it? Because if y'all would have just said, hey, let's get the National Guard up here, let's just stop it, it would have never went that far, but they did. It's just like they was afraid of those protesters, not even afraid, like, oh yeah, go ahead, y'all can do this. Who cares?
No, they
y'all
wasn't
right.
afraid. A lot of those police officers was in on it.
Right.
A lot
and
of them let them in. A lot of those police officers was in on it. You know? And he didn't only tell them to march to Capitol Hill. He told them to don't take no for an answer, to go for the gusto, which is why they started breaking. He knew because they was covering everything live. Like, he knew they broke down the gate. He knew that they got, that they had breached entry point and that they got to the door. He knew that they started busting out the window, and he never once called National Guard or nothing to stop those people from entering the Capitol. He sat back and let those people go in and damage and destroy property, government property, and, incite violence on some of those officers, caused the lady to get shot in her neck and she died. And all those other people. And then they stole government property,
They did. They stole mail. I think they stole a laptop. And even Mike Pence was in an undisclosed location. He was pissed off because he wasn't getting no type of support from the White House, and Trump thought it was funny. I laughed too.
Exactly. Those people had, they had those plastic tie bands. Like, they were gonna take them hostage and tie people up. They had a whole bunch of those tie bands. Yeah. They had guns. They had bombs. They had a whole bunch of stuff. Like, they were going to siege Capitol Hill. Like, they really was planning on taking it over.
And it's so sad how they do that. But when Farrakhan came to the Capitol Hill, he came like years ago with like 3 of his FOI members, 3 or 4, and they had extra security. When the Million Man March was announced, the president wasn't in D.C., Senate wasn't in session, Congress was. They took so many security protocols, and it was not one incident of any none of it. But when white folks, they let their guards and didn't care. But that would have been Farrakhan announcing, hey, we're gonna bring 300 black men. Hell, it could have just been 10 black men. And Farrakhan announced that he's coming to D.C. Watch how much security they're gonna have. Watch how much people going, and they have all this for something that's going to be peaceful. Then versus their own people, their own race, they allow them to just take over. And a white woman lost her life. And a police officer lost his life. And I think another white man, I think he put a taser in front of his private area, and he accidentally tased himself. And he had a heart attack. So it's crazy.
But think about it. Only one person lost their life to violence from the police. Imagine if it was black people. You would have had hundreds, thousands of black people dead. It would have been bloodshed everywhere.
It would have been bullet
one
holes everywhere.
person lost their life at the hands of a police officer.
One, yeah.
That is sickening. One person, the way that they came in and they demolished that Capitol Hill, and the way that they had those people running through stairwells and hiding, going underground and all that type of stuff. One person got killed at the hands of police.
Well, and it's not funny, but it's only one. But black folks, you could just look a certain way.
But they want to call black people thugs and mobsters and Antifa and all this other type of stuff, when they're the real thugs.
Yeah,
they're the real mob. They showed it. They don't care.
They did show up, and it's very disturbing. But again, I think black people, we know, and we've been preaching this forever, like this was going to happen. We know this is going to be, if you don't know, read your history. Anytime black people was in Congress, in the state capitol in the South, you had some called white people wearing red shirts, and they were terrorized, they were killed, they were threatened. So this is nothing new. Now you got the red hat. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to intimidate, they're trying to hurt people because they don't want to see this country change. And let me tell you, the country is going to change. Either you with it or you're not. But it's going to change. Or you're against it. It's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. It's not going to stay the same. I think black people as well as Latino people coming up, you got to share the power. And white people, they unfortunately, they feel as though if we share it, they're going to do what we did to them. They're going to hurt us.
But do you know that the Proud Boys, the leader of the Proud Boys, is Afro-Cuban?
It could be.
Do you know that?
He could be. He is. He could be the face, but I don't think it's just one leader of that group. I think it's multiple people that's on there, because I don't think he have all the power and all that. I think it's multiple leaders in that group. I've heard. But whoever he's representing or whatever he's representing, I never take the media or the government when they talk about these certain leaders and all that, because you got to be very cautious because they never tell you everything. But one thing I can say, if you could destroy the Black Panthers, if you literally can invade and tear down, why can't you do it for these other groups? So it's just like, if this was a black organization that was coming together, terrorizing that group would have literally been shut down. They'll be shut down from the inside out. So I don't understand why y'all giving
these. They would have
been
shut down. They would have been shot down.
And all that. Look what they
everything.
did to Fred Hammond. They invaded that man's apartment. Well, one of the people in his organization told them the floor plan of how to get in his home, where he was going to be sleeping, and gave him a drink. And it's like, so don't tell me that y'all don't know what y'all do, because history speaks that y'all know how to destroy organizations. But when it's y'all people that's doing it, you're going to have that same energy. And a lot of times they don't have that same energy. They got to be forced to do this. They got to be called out. It got to be a media outcry to do it. But black organizations, you don't need that. Baby, they be on it. They still watching the Nation of Islam. The FBI still watch these black organizations. Still watch them. They still there. And I'm like for what? But your people out here terrorizing the U.S. Capitol, and they're talking about going to other state capitals all this week. They're talking about they're going to bring weapons and all that. So it's crazy.
Right. I seen that the FBI had put out something that's saying that they plan on, terrorizing the Capitol in all 50 states, and they put out a warning for them. But, yeah, it's crazy. But you know what's even crazier? You see how much restraint that they had?
Yes.
But they don't have the same restraint for a black man that they pull over and they think that they're reaching for something.
Come on,
but
they don't have that restraint.
For all these people mobbing you and knocking you upside your head, and only one person got shot?
Only one person.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very disturbing. Thank you for calling in. It's very disturbing.
Okay, bye-bye.
Baby, they use a lot of restraint. That would have been me. Baby, I'd have so many bullet holes all in my body. That would have been me. Oh, Lord. That would have been me climbing through that window. But baby, I wouldn't even be able to get on the grounds. That would have been me. That would have been people that would have been me trying to go there and do that. I would have been lit up. And they would have had it all on TV. That would have been me. Ain't nowhere in the world they would have let me climb through it. First of all, I wouldn't be able to climb up no walls. I get aches and pains, especially both my kneecaps. I wouldn't even be able to climb up there. But anyway, they would have got me real good. 0287.
Hi, Wiley.
Hey.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm blessed.
Okay, so I want to speak on Trump too, but the first thing I want to say is I don't think people ever don't realize that this march should have been disbanded and never happened. They found 2 bombs within that Capitol area before the speech. That area should have been totally locked down from the point that they found those bombs. Like,
Facts.
the speech should have been canceled. Everything. The president shouldn't have been there. They found 2 bombs in the area. And so the speech should have never happened, and which means that the riot would have never happened.
Facts.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. That's on the Trump thing, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate. With your callers may not like me a little bit for this, but I don't really feel like people give those police officers enough credit. Those police officers were terribly, terribly overwhelmed. They was getting pummeled, and they were calling for the cavalry, and the cavalry ain't coming. Their lives were at risk. In order for them not to get killed, hell, let the damn gate open, because the people didn't want them. Once they got past the gate, the officers were good. And so them inside communicating with them and talking to them, it was nothing that they could do. It
Facts.
was nothing those police officers could do to restrain those people further than what they did.
You right.
Now, I do feel like there were some working with them. There were some that let them in, that were a part of the conspiracy. But if you see the way they were pushing on that gate, those guys were being knocked down by the gate. They were physically exhausted. They were pulling them down from the when they got up on the step. They were pulling them down from on top of the stairs. And if they got them in them crowds, they were wailing and beating on those guys. By the time they made it up to that, they got backed up to the door, and they made it to the door. Don't you think all them police officers right up there, don't you think they were exhausted?
Facts. They were really overwhelmed, and people lost their lives. I don't understand why they.
It was only. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point.
It was only 500 cops on the Capitol altogether, and I'm guessing that maybe it was 250 or 300 on that front line right there when it first started. That was not enough to stop that crowd. Those people needed backup, and backup never came. And now they want to punish them and point the finger and say, "Hey, y'all should have did this. Y'all should have did that. You didn't do this." My sister was a police officer. I have two cousins that are police officers right now. And I'm sorry, if they was down there, I would have told them, "Move your ass out the way and let them go. Let them go by. You come on home."
Okay, cause I'm not putting my life at risk if I ain't getting no backup, and all that. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely,
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not about to put my life on risk for these white folks that want to up here invade. If you don't want to have it ever, let them come through, cause it's your life or theirs. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go around just killing them, then you gonna get charged probably with murder.
Well, see, the thing is, if they would have started shooting, they would have incited them more, and now you're the target because you killed one of our people. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So it's like, okay, we could shoot, but it's more people than bullets. You only gonna get off so many bullets before they up on you. You're gonna shoot one person, the next person you may shoot, the third person, you done. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So they had no defense whatsoever. So for them to pick apart those police officers right now, especially the ones that were in the front and picking apart the one that took the picture, what the hell was the picture gonna do? If you saw that guy who took the picture, he looked like he was tired.
Yeah.
He looked exhausted. And at some point in there also, you heard the rioters sitting in there begging the police officers, like, "We want you to go home. We want you to go home. We don't want you." This is what the rioters are telling the police officers. I mean, at some point when the cavalry don't arrive, bye. They ain't looking for me.
I feel you on that. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in, sister. Okay, let me go to the next caller. 3957 calling on air. Oh, let me click you on. 3957.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi. Hi. Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
I just want to say I love your show.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be real brief.
Okay.
You're an indigo spirit. You're hilarious. I feel like you're the male version of myself. Like, I was tuning into your story time, and I was like, if that was not me,
like with the whole bipolar disorder and just being deranged, but just being like a caring soul. Like, I just wanted to say I love you. But anyways, the whole Erica Banks situation, I know like she's your girl or whatever, but I don't see the big hype about her. And I'm kind of pissed at Nicki Minaj for giving her a cosign, because I'm like, she's really dusty right now. Like, she needs to go get the whole aesthetics done. And then she's not really that talented, in my unwanted, humble opinion. And that's pretty much it. And hell Satan. Bye, I love you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling in. That she dragged her like that. That was very brief. The views and comments of the callers do not represent the views and opinions of the host. Okay? So, y'all come to y'all be dragging these people. Don't come this way and try to bring it to me. Okay? I love Erica Banks. No, she don't need to be putting no concrete and no silicone in her butt and her. No, she don't need to be doing that. She don't need to be doing that, okay? I'm not gonna repeat what she said. If you ain't catch it, you ain't catch it. I caught what she said, but I ain't repeating it. I ain't repeating it. Y'all is something else. Okay, everybody wanted me to talk about this. Let me tell y'all, when y'all do a panel, I'm gonna say this. This is the last subject. If anybody else want to call in, you can call in, but I'm just pretty much giving my closing remarks in this segment. If y'all, for any people that's doing panel shows, and I want to say this, and I say this humbly, but the reason why I don't do a lot of LGBT topics is because my audience is not, a lot of them are LGBT. Okay. So if you do a panel and you talking about, being a bottom shaming, all of that, a lot of times your core base will not, be into that, because majority of them, they like, they heterosexual. They're not really into those, type of topics. So I knew in the beginning that, my audience will not be into that. So you got to have a balance to have more mainstream topics. Because I remember when I first started on YouTube, I was trying to interview a lot of adult entertainment stars, and I was getting a lot of backlash because a lot of them did not like the type of content. So I tend not to put a lot of that on there. Even a lot of LGBT talent, if your artist, if I feel like your music is just a little bit too much, if it's not the great, I don't bring you on. Now, I used to just bring out anybody. Now I try to bring you on where my audience intend to like, because you got to understand your audience and what they like and what they desire. So what I did, my panel show, I tend to have a female on so she can give her opinion. Try to get a straight guy on, she give her opinion, and then let me give my opinion or whatever way I want to give my opinion. So it could be like a well balance of a show. Because when you do a show and you talk about, being a bottom and all that, a lot of women, they not gonna try to hear all that. So you gotta put like base of like comedy in there. But if you're trying to be serious on that, and then another thing too, when I'm looking at, when I see a lot of gay guys that do panels, they get a lot of people that's attractive. They're very attractive, but they don't have the personality. You know what I'm saying? Like though you are attractive, though you look good on camera, but when you get to talking, you ain't talking about nothing. You don't have the personality. And it's not about one person in particular. It's just my personality, just my opinion. It's just like, though you're very attractive, but when you start talking, you ain't talking about nothing. You ain't entertaining the base and entertaining the audience. So a lot of times when you do these panel shows, sometimes it be a hit and sometimes it be a miss. When you do these panel shows, that's the only thing, because you could be attractive, but you ain't talking about, you putting your audience to sleep. You really be putting your audience to sleep when it comes to that. I'm like, what are we really doing? And so when I would do the panel, I'm like, ooh, you really got to be on it. And so I had to like an audition for Two Man and a Lady. I'm like, man, you really got to be a strong lady to be on a show because you pretty much the face. You got to be strong, internet connection, your opinion got to be on. I don't want to do a panel show and I'm literally on here and I'm doing all the talking. I just do my own show by myself. So it really some way. Somebody said this in the comments. Somebody said attractive people tend to be pretty dense and boring because they don't have to try that hard. That's true, but if you used to somebody entertaining, you come that dry, it mess up the whole vibe. It messed up the whole. I remember one time I saw Rico Pure on a panel, and Rico Pure he was on the show. That man was so boring. He could not talk about nothing. He did not have an opinion. He just attractive. Only thing he know is butt, booty, stick it up there, spread your legs, put it on OnlyFans. That's the only thing he know. When you try to talk about politics and try to talk about conversation, all that, couldn't do it. They try to have it, he didn't know what to say. He just got up there just extremely dry. Though you are attractive, but you're not really that good as a show host. You know, you really got to be strong. And then a lot of times these people be putting panels together. Dang, should I say this? Hold on, let me see if I can say this. Like the video. Or we get should I say this? A lot of times people put panelists together. They do this purposely get people that is dry so they will not outshine them. So they won't get outshine. So you purposely get people that know they cannot compete with you. You know they don't want you to outdo them. So they would bring you on and you would be dry. I'm like, where is the person to stand out? Where is the person that is going to call out and address and having a difference of opinion? Because if I do a panel, this is me. If I'm on a show and they talking about being a bottom and why do we bottom shame, I'm going to be honest because it's freaking funny when you bottom shame. You have your opinion. You have your certain preference. People say that. So if I'm on there, I'm just going to keep it real from my perspective. Even if a person get up on there and they're the lead host, I'm going to challenge. I'm going to come there and do the best, and I'm going to challenge the lead host. But this is why it works for me. This is why I could not do Ra Ali and on-site show. This is why I didn't audition, because I knew it was going to come a time where my opinion will challenge the opinion of the host. And I'm the type of person, I can't bite my tongue. If I feel like I want to say this, I'm going to say it. Okay? So I'm going to challenge. So I know I definitely can't do it. So that's why I don't do a lot of panel shows. Because I know I'm going to disagree with the host. That's why I don't do a lot of panel shows. That's why I don't do a lot of podcasts. That's why I don't do a lot of interviews. I used to just go out. Now I rarely do an interview. Now I really do something like things like that. I really don't. And so this is why I don't rush to do a panel show. I say I'm gonna take my time because I'm trying to get the Wiley Show off the ground. I'm trying to do a panel show because you got to bring the panel on. Because last time I did the panel show, I got in all this mess. I did a panel show and I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, but it was a blogger apologized to me. One of the panelists got on there and lied and just dragged me with this woman, and she took the woman's side. And I didn't know what happened. I'm like, what's the world going on? What's the deal? Why is I getting dragged? I got dragged. And then years later, when you back on YouTube, then she was like, I want to apologize to Wiley because such and such was saying this stuff, and I didn't call Wiley. I just dragged her. Yeah, you did. And the only thing I did when I came on the show, when she came on the scene, I got on the phone and I tried to help her. just get on the phone, give her suggestions and all that type of stuff. But then I get dragged. I didn't drag her back. I didn't speak negatively about her. I just moved on. And that's why I got to be very cautious on doing a panel show, because you will get those that will drag you and say different stuff, and it will get out. If you drag me, they will let Wiley know eventually. Oh, Wiley, let me let you know what happened. Had guys around me, had different messy moderators in my career as a blogger. They would get me in mess. I ain't had nothing to deal with it. The mess will come to me. Hey, Wiley, this is something, this happened. And then I have to get involved. One lady called into my show. It was an older lady. Your mind said this. Got me in some mess because they talking. And it was bad. And I rebuked the lady because, number one, don't be calling me early in the morning with no mess without no donation. You're going to get rebuked. I rebuked her. What do you mean? I said, you too old to be in this mess. Call my phone early this morning. Hear no mess? You're 60-something years old. You should be ashamed of yourself. I had to rebuke her. Calling me with no mess early in this morning. I didn't have my breakfast. I don't give a dog what a moderator said to you. I need help right there. You calling me with mess, I'm going to rebuke you 60-something years old. You're going to get rebuked. Calling me. You in your 60s. Flirting with a gay man. You need to be rebuked. What in the world you flirt with a gay man? You in your 60s. Sit down somewhere. So I rebuked her. So I got on there and rebuked her. And we argued down. It was on my backup channel. I might re-upload that video. I got it private. But I remember I got it private. I'll have to re-upload that video. But one of the bloggers, they reported on it when I was talking about. I rebuked her. I was like, because you were calling me with mess. Calling me with some mess. Oh, you were the moderator. Y'all talking, communicating, talking about me behind the scenes. This person letting me know people removing messages. So everybody gonna get rebuked. Now don't put me in the mess. Don't mention me. Don't talk about me. Everything. Unless it's positive, don't mention me and talk about me negative and you want to be over here because you're gonna get rebuked. So the lady got rebuked. I'm from California and all. I don't give a darn where you from. You're not calling me with no mess. I got things to do. I ain't got time to be talking about what somebody said to you. You in your 60s. Get over it. Don't be on the phone with no young gay man. What you on the phone with it for? Are y'all screwing? What y'all on the phone for? Do you want to screw up? He don't want your yoni. So I'm on the phone and I rebuked her. I was tired. I was hungry. And she called me early in the morning with mess. It was early, too. I mean, the sun wasn't out. And I'm getting mess? I'm getting dragged in some mess? I ain't got nothing to do with this. I ain't got nothing to do with it. You want to communicate and do all that type of stuff. I just get on entertain. I don't be behind the scenes. Oh, yeah, such and such. No. Whatever I say privately, I can say publicly. Because there's no mess. Okay? I had to pee and I almost can't hold it because I'm sorry, Gigi. Yeah, call me with mess. Talking about what somebody said to you. You're going to get rebuked. Don't call me out with no foolish stuff unless you call it with a check. At least if you want to be messy, something that's going on, give me a strong donation. Ching, and then you could be messy, and then I won't rebuke you. But you call me a mess, you don't give, you don't call in, you don't comment, you don't share my videos, you will get a rebuke. So that woman had got a rebuke, okay? I'm surprised I ain't put her in no series, but I did rebuke her, though. I did. I think she tried to cry or something. She tried to, but we ain't trying to get them tears, no nothing, please. You want to cry when you being messy about me, so don't cry now. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so very much for tuning into the show. Sorry I wasn't interested in some of y'all callers today. I was so looking at other stuff. I was highly distracted. I was looking at somebody on my Instagram. I can't say who, but I was being distracted because I was in the DM of somebody that's a celebrity. and I'm trying to get this interview. So I was highly distracted because I'm in this way because I'm trying to get an exclusive. So when you on the phone, me half of y'all, I knew what y'all gonna say. I was up there watching it in the DM of a celebrity. I'm trying to take this show to the next level. Thank you. Says that Wiley, my mother and I love you when you keep rebuking these people. I had to. Called me early in the morning, and you 60-something. I'm on the phone with him, and we would send each other pictures of each other kids, and we would just be talking. What you want to show your kids the strangers for? I don't want to see your kids and all that. No. Now, unless we on social media and all that type of stuff, but you sending pictures with each other kids and all that. What y'all flirting for? Did you screw him? Did you screw the guy? Do you want the guy? The guy don't want you. He like men. What the boy do you want? He said this, and he dragged me in such and such chat. Lady, you 60-some years old. Get off the internet, go on your rocket chair, and do some knitting. Go visit a nursing home and sing Jesus Can Work It Out to some residents. What you on the internet for? Talking about, well, I was in such and such chat, and he said this about me. I said, what? What? And I said, ma'am, sister, ma'am, missionary, what do I have to do with the mess? I have nothing to do with this. You calling me early in the morning. What do you want me to do with the guy? Whoop him? I can't whoop him. He's grown. Anywho, calling me was a mess. Go and sing to the residents. All right, but I still love you. I remember that. All right, I will see y'all soon. Now, we about to end the show. I'm not going to end it abruptly. Everybody was able to talk. If this is your first time watching the Wiley Show, please subscribe. Shout out, I was rocking today. Sorry, my apologies. I know I triggered some people for not having a haircut, but I will get a haircut today. I want to thank you, everybody that have donated. I want to thank you, everybody that have watched our show. We're really close to 20,000 subscribers, so please subscribe. And when you call in on the next show, I'm going to make sure I'm in tune with each caller. Thank you. Continue to send me topics, and we will definitely bring you on the show. Shout out to those 3 people I invited personally on Clubhouse. Thank you. I will invite some more people when I get some more people able to invite. I will invite you on Clubhouse. So continue that's going on. Thank you so very much. Okay. All right. And the reason why I ended the show abruptly, let me tell you, because they were playing music in the back. And they be wanting to screw and stuff. And a lot of stuff out of the privacy of my company, I don't play it. Because, I have a camera and it picks up a lot of sounds. And if you screw on somebody, so I have to end it. Because when you get to start screwing, arguing, all that, no. So I have to cut it abruptly. Should have kept it rolling, but had to cut it abruptly because we can't have you on here arguing, you cussing out, you throwing stuff, and then it goes on camera, and then they're going to be saying, oh, Wiley and his boyfriend that, and I ain't doing nothing but just sitting there and talking to you. So a lot of lives I have to abruptly end. So hopefully I didn't abruptly end. I will be coming back on later on today, okay? We're going to be giving y'all more lives. I've been taking enough breaks. I'm highly well rested. Got to get a haircut today. So we thank you all for giving. Shout out to people that have gave. Yesterday, shout out to those that gave today. Shout out to the super chat that we get. Thank you so very much. I talked with my mentor about releasing the interview. She said they're working on it. Okay, you heard it here first. They're working on it. All right, it's not just going to be 8 interviews. It's going to be multiple videos, from my understanding. So I did reach out to my mentor. I did ask her when she's gonna release it. The girls are waiting. Let them wait. But no, it's gonna be multiple videos and stuff like that. So thank you all so very much. I will see you all later. Make sure y'all subscribe, and peace.